All artwork created in this video is copyright Leilani Joy. Artwork may not be reproduced without the written consent of the artist. All rights reserved. Konnichiwa everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Art Nouveau with your host Leilani Joy. This is my video art blog where I document my creative process and give you guys some tips and tricks along the way. On today's episode, I'll be creating another piece for the Bad Apple Artist Collective monthly auction. I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I'm in this artist group on Facebook, and every month we choose a theme, and everybody creates an original piece that will be auctioned off to our fans. So it's pretty exciting, and I had a lot of fun doing my Venus piece. And this month, the theme has been chosen to be Madame Butterfly, which is the tragic story of a young Japanese girl who falls in love with an American soldier who ultimately leaves her, and she has his child and she's all alone and sadly tragically kills herself at the end of the story. It was turned into a very famous opera, and there's other versions of it, and it's just a beautiful love tragic story, and I love the idea of that character, and frankly I don't know why I haven't done Madame Butterfly before, because I really love the story. So anyway, I'm really excited to get started on this piece. So I think I'll start with doing some reference of geisha hairstyles and Japanese culture and patterns and things like that. In the play, it doesn't specifically say that Butterfly is a geisha, but I think since it's set in Japan and that sort of iconic imagery, I'm definitely going to sort of go towards that theme. So speaking of reference, I was recently watching this incredibly inspiring DVD by Ian McCaig through the Gnomon Workshop. If you guys haven't heard of that, you should definitely check out this website. But Ian McCaig, if you haven't heard of him, is basically the man as far as visual storytelling and concept art. I highly recommend looking him up. Turn this video off and go check out his work if you don't know who he is. But anyway, he has this really awesome DVD series called Visual Storytelling. And if you have any interest in going into conceptual work for film or games, I highly recommend checking it out. I had it on the other day because my boyfriend has all the DVDs, and I usually like to have something on while I'm working, like a movie or music or something inspirational. And I was listening to him as he was working, and the guy just like draws like crazy. He doesn't even use any reference or anything. It's just like, it's all in his head, and it's awesome. But as I was watching his video, he offered this really good piece of advice that I think a lot about now that I heard it. And he said, be very, very careful using other artists' work as reference. In fact, don't do it, he said. Use photographs or real life to work from when you have an idea in your head, because the danger is when you use another artist's work as reference is it ends up looking like that artist, and I really want to encourage you guys to stay away from that. I have a little example that I want to show you guys. I recently came across this image by another artist who is obviously inspired by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, as a lot of artists are inspired by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I love her work, but it's definitely a unique style that I think is all her own, and a lot of people emulate her. And this artist, who will go unnamed because I don't want to embarrass them, but they clearly used one of Jasmine's paintings as reference for her own drawing, and it really looks like that. It really looks like she used Jasmine's work as reference when she should have used photos or real life or her own style of sketching to do her original piece. So I thought that was a really good piece of advice that Ian offered, that if you have a concept in your head, don't try to find someone who's already done that. Try to create it from life, from inspiration. Feel free to stylize all you want. I certainly do that myself. But I think it's really important to keep things fresh and keep your style unique by using only real life and photos, because if you use Audrey Kawasaki and you have a bunch of her artworks around your inspiration board, your drawings are all going to end up looking like her. And you know, there's already Audrey Kawasaki. You don't want to be her. I mean, I love her too. I worship her. She's amazing, but I don't want to be a clone of Audrey Kawasaki or anybody really. So I encourage you guys to try and do that a little bit more, and let go a little bit of some of those artistic inspirations you have, because those people have already mastered their craft, and you want to find your own way and find a unique style that's all your own. So little tidbit for you guys, little inspirational pep talk for you guys. And I'm going to try and do that a little bit more myself. Sometimes I see a piece and I'm like, that looks too much like Camilla Dorico, or that looks too much like this artist over here, and I really want to keep mine original and true to myself. So I hope you guys will try and do the same. Alright, so blah blah blah. Anyways, let's start this piece and create Madame Butterfly. So for this piece I've decided to do a watercolor painting, and I'm actually drawing directly on my watercolor paper in this case. And you may be able to see I did a very light sketch before I'm actually doing the graphite over it, because watercolor is not that forgiving to draw on, so you want to sort of be sure of what you want before you commit. Now for my color, I am using Winsor Newton watercolor paints. You guys often ask me what brands I use, and as a general rule, if you can spend a little bit more, do buy a little bit higher quality. However, I don't commit myself to brands. I don't think it's really necessary to have only one brand that you use, and I use lots of different brands. I'm also using Micron waterproof ink pens, and also Higgins permanent black ink that is also waterproof. Okay, you guys, well, my Madame Butterfly piece is almost finished now, and before I show you how it came out, I thought I would just make a few quick announcements here. I have newly available canvas reproductions of Sasha, Stella, and Soleil. Here's one of Stella. This is a 12 by 16 canvas reproduction. They are all signed and numbered 1 through 10. There's only going to be 10 of these. And I also hand embellished them in acrylic paint, so they have sort of a 3D, very realistic painting texture to them. And they're ready to hang and on the stretched wood stretchers, and would make a pretty cool art piece if you missed out on the originals of those. I don't know why butterflies seem to be so trendy in my artwork right now. I think it's sort of a coincidence. I actually have a commission I'm doing right now that's also butterfly themed, so if you like butterflies, there's going to be a lot of pieces that you'll enjoy. Okay, so I'll show you guys this final piece, and I hope you enjoyed the process. Don't forget to bid on the original on the Bad Apple Artist Collective Facebook page right here. The auction starts on Sunday with a minimum bid of only $50, so theoretically you could get this original painting for only 50 bucks if you check it out. If you're not in the market for the original, I will have prints of Madame Butterfly available in the Etsy shop really soon, so stay tuned for that as well. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys really soon.